warm good evening to all of you and welcome to the Urban League of Detroit's Salute to Distinguished Warriors. I'm Glenda Lewis. It's a pleasure to be your host this evening. Since 1916, the Urban League has aimed to build bridges between Detroit and southeastern Michigan communities. Their mission is to enable African Americans and other persons of color to achieve their fullest potential. And tonight, we honor 5 people in our community who are committed to the same mission. Their contributions to our community are beyond measure. This year's Distinguished Warrior honorees include Hispanic community leader and activist Jane Garcia, Speaker and CEO Geneva Williams, retired U.S. Congressman the Honorable Sander Levin, the posthumous recognition for Dr. O'Neill Swanson Sr., and someone very near and dear to me, my mother and retired WXYZ News anchor Diana Lewis. This celebration is particularly special for me and my family. I'm so proud of you, Mom, always. Before we get started, I wanted to share with you an opportunity for you to be involved in the fun part of tonight's celebration. Take a moment to try out our virtual photo booth. Use a picture from your phone, snap a selfie, text your photo to 313-367-0585. In a few moments, those photos will be returned to you in a special Urban League frame, which you can then post to social media. We're so grateful that you've joined us tonight. We hope tonight inspires you. We hope tonight spurs you into action. And we hope tonight you consider making a donation to the Detroit Urban League to further its mission and programming, which is crucial to our community. Now we'd like to take a moment for the invocation. Pastor Kevin Casillas of Latin American Baptist Church will lead us in prayer tonight.
Good evening, buenas noches, and bienvenidos. Welcome to Southwest Detroit, a thriving, vibrant, multicultural, multilingual community where LaSed stands as an anchor nonprofit helping our neighbors, helping the community, and we are so grateful and privileged to be a part of this event that honors our good friend Jane Garcia and our neighbor. My name is Kevin Casillas. I'm pastor of the First Latin American Baptist Church in Southwest Detroit, a bilingual evangelical congregation that has been here since 1930. We haven't known Jane that long, but we have worked closely for many, many years, and we are thrilled to be able to participate in this event that honors her and so many others worthy of this honor tonight. It is my honor and privilege to begin with the invocation, and I invite you to join me in prayer as we begin our meeting. Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts filled with gratitude as we consider the life and service and impact on so many in our community brought by those that we honor tonight. We thank you for the Urban League. We thank you, Lord, for this event, for Jane Garcia, Geneva Williams, the Honorable Sander Levin. We thank you for Diana Lewis and the late O'Neill Swanson. Thank you for the grace that you have shown through their lives and the service they have offered to us. Lord, we know that every good gift comes from above, and everything we are, all that we have, as our parents taught us, as your word says, is a gift from you. And so as we honor them, we first want to recognize you and thank you, humbly express our gratitude to the true and living God for your grace in our life, for your hope, for your strength. We have been through some dark days, and you are changing things now. We thank you for the light. We thank you for the hope that we have. And we thank you for that grace that you have expressed through these that we honor. As we think of your gifts, Lord, we thank you as well for the greatest gift of all, the gift of your Son, who sacrificed himself for the forgiveness of our sins. It is in his name that we pray and thank you and pray your blessing upon this event. A ti sea la honra y la gloria por siempre. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Muchas gracias, Pastor Casillas. We thank you so very much for that blessing. Now I'd like to introduce Urban League's board chairman, Robert McCray. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening, Glenda, and good evening to all of you. As Glenda said, my name is Robert McCray, and it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you all to the 42nd Annual Salute to Distinguished Warrior Celebration. I bring you greetings on behalf of the board, our CEO, N. Charles Anderson, who you will hear from shortly, and the dedicated, hardworking, and immensely talented affiliate team. I also bring you greetings from my team at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has a long-standing relationship with the National Urban League and the local affiliates around the country. Our company, including my general manager, Dan Artone, understands the positive impact the Detroit Urban League has on the people and the communities they serve. Tonight, we will be honoring 5 incredible individuals who have made significant contributions in the areas of human and civil rights. To quote the great Nelson Mandela, "As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same." Well, our honorees have been helping to light up our city for many years. These are people who understand the importance of service to others, warriors, distinguished warriors who have committed their lives to helping improve the lives of those around them, much like the Detroit Urban League has been doing for the past 105 years. During this time, your Urban League has been on the front lines, fighting, organizing, and advocating for underserved communities of color throughout metropolitan Detroit. In a minute, you will see a video documenting the rich history of this great organization. You will hear firsthand from people who are benefiting from our programs, and you will see how the League continues to have a positive impact on the lives of our youth, new mothers, and seniors looking for economic independence. Now, if you're paying attention, what you will also see is some of the battles the Urban League fought decades ago are back with a vengeance. Issues like voter suppression, social justice, disparities in healthcare, and economic opportunities. These issues continue to rear their ugly heads in our communities and across our country. And while these are not new issues, let's not lose sight of the progress we have made. Let's remember and give thanks to those who have helped achieve that progress, like our honorees this evening. And let us all commit to do our part to continue the fight for the next generation and the generations after that. There have been too many sacrifices and too much progress made for us to stop now. This is why we need your support. Advocacy, organizing, and raising good trouble all cost money. The Urban League has always been dependent upon the support from the people in the communities they serve. So we humbly ask you to please consider supporting the Detroit Urban League. Giving is simple. On your screen, you should be seeing our website where you can make a one-time donation, or better yet, set up a reoccurring monthly or quarterly donation. We need your support because the forces working against voting rights, police reform, and universal health care are raising resources they need to influence the laws and those who write them. We need that same level of support. Together, we will continue to move our communities forward and help improve the lives of all that we serve. Thank you, Glenda.
In 1916, the Detroit affiliate of the National Urban League opens its doors, welcoming the wave of Southern Blacks migrating to northern urban areas seeking jobs and a better life, and offering programs addressing everything from job training to child care to youth recreation, even offering helpful hints on how to dress and land a job. Through the years, we've focused on social challenges and social justice, anticipating and responding to the changing needs of the metropolitan Detroit community, and receiving national attention in the process.
It was hard to believe that just last year, these kids were troublemakers.
You don't have to be chained by the beast.
How have you changed as a result of this program? What were you like before, and what are you like now?
Before we was like bad little kids. We was brats, like we didn't like nobody or nothing. And I started being good in my classroom and then started getting good grades.
In 1989, the Detroit Urban League Male Responsibility Program was featured nationally on ABC's 2020.
Now, there are many schools that don't have enough money to have art courses or librarians or music. Where do they get the money for this?
Well, interestingly enough, this curriculum is not a regular part of the curriculum for the Detroit schools. This program is funded through the Detroit Urban League.
In addition to focusing on saving young black males in the 80s, our Purple Ribbon campaign in the 90s brought together a cross-section of community groups to march and speak out against violence.
I'd like to thank Reverend Griffin and the Detroit Urban League for conceiving of the idea of real Detroiters coming together.
Good afternoon, Detroit Lions Academy. Mr. Cohn speaking. May I help you?
Today, the Urban League of Detroit and Southeast Michigan continues to provide innovative programs for all segments of the community. The Urban Senior Jobs Program is a transformational opportunity for those 55 and older.
A lot of the individuals that are in Job Club haven't worked in 10 or more years. So a lot of things have changed. How to look for employment, how to present yourself for an interview, resume writing, cover letters. A lot of them feel that because I'm 55 and older, that no one wants me, and that's not true.
The program has been life-changing for Thomas Simmons, a Vietnam-era vet with PTSD and a light work history. Intensive online and phone counseling during the pandemic has built up his confidence and led to a job.
Before this Urban League program, before I found out about it, I also suffer from major depression disorder. And so for the most part, my days were laying in bed or sitting in front of the television. I was assigned a counselor, Mr. Hodge is my counselor. And I explained it to him, about my disabilities. And he said, well, I think you will qualify. I think you can handle it. So let's just give it a try. If it doesn't work, then okay, at least you can say, at least you tried. And so once a week he would call me and maybe give me little assignments. Finally, he asked me about, since I was a veteran, how would I like to be placed at the VA? And I jumped up yes, yes, I would love to be placed at the VA. I will be working the VA information desk or either escorting, where you escort patients from clinic to clinic.
Simmons says the program has also brought him closer to his family and given him hope.
It was able to, get me out of that, with that cloud over my head type thing, I was able to get out and do something, and, this is only the beginning. But today, man, I'm able to live independently, and it's just, it's amazing, the joy that I feel today. And this program has everything to do with that.
The Urban League's workforce development programs are so highly regarded, they're a valued hiring partner for many businesses. Sterling Security is the largest minority-owned security business in Michigan, and they regularly hire through the program.
We've been partnering with the Urban League for about, I want to say 5 to 7 years. They assist us in supplying with trained employees that they train, and then those employees are able to come here and then we teach them our skill set.
They're well screened, they know what their job is, and because they're mature, I don't have problems. I can't say enough, it's been stellar.
Our acclaimed college prep program, the College Club, is moving into its 32nd year with its amazing track record of support for students. And they have the magic touch in helping them strengthen their high school academics find scholarships, and get through the maze of the college admissions process.
Just the mentors are outstanding, and they really push to help us a lot. Like, for example, they helped me win the Coleman Young Scholarship. That's $20,000. They were able to get me a free suit because I didn't have a suit, a business suit. They were able to sit down and give me interviewing questions.
There's a timing for everything. SAT scores, GPA, resumes, business cards. I'm like, I don't have business cards. I've seen her grow tremendously.
Thanks to the College Club, Detroit area students have been able to compete and regularly place in prestigious national competitions.
Disney Dreamers is an essay competition where there are 4,000 applicants and only 100 students are selected to go. And so 3 of these students were from Detroit and they all came from this College Club.
Because without the College Club, I wouldn't have been able to go to Disney or have those experiences and meeting all these new people.
And we are helping to ensure a healthy future for our little ones. We're part of WIC, the Women, Infant, and Children's program that provides pregnant moms and women with young children with nutritional counseling, healthy living skills, and breastfeeding tips. While we don't know exactly what the future holds, we do know that no matter the challenge, the Urban League of Detroit and Southeast Michigan will be there with targeted programs to meet pressing individual needs and to empower the community. Won't you help us?
Wow, incredible transformations for people in our community. It's amazing to see all the good work done by the Detroit Urban League. A friend and partner of the League is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Governor Whitmer has a few words for us tonight.
Greetings. As the governor of the great state of Michigan, it's my honor to be here to join the Urban League of Detroit and Southeastern Michigan on your 42nd annual Salute to Distinguished Warriors event. I want to thank the Urban League of Detroit for 105 years of serving the community and helping make life better for so many citizens. Our own Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist even benefited from the Detroit Urban League as a member of your College Club, and we're very pleased to have his leadership in our state government. Again, thank you, and Charles Anderson, President and CEO, the staff, volunteers, and board for all that you do for Michigan communities and families. It is also my pleasure to congratulate the 2021 Distinguished Warriors for their immeasurable contributions to our state in the areas of human and civil rights. Each distinguished warrior, Jane C. Garcia, Diana Lewis, the Honorable Sandra Levin, Dr. Geneva Williams, and posthumously Dr. O'Neill Swanson, have been outstanding Michiganders. We are all better because of them. Once again, congratulations to these distinguished warriors, and thank you, Detroit Urban League, for honoring them and your century of service.
Thank you so much, Governor Whitmer, for those kind words bringing tears to our eyes this evening. We're about to start honoring our distinguished warriors, but before we do, I'd like to introduce Detroit Urban League's president and CEO, the incredible, incomparable, N. Charles Anderson. N. Charles has been at the helm of this organization for more than 3 decades, instrumental in fighting this mission. We welcome you, sir.
Well, Glenda, thank you very much. What an incredible introduction from an incredible person. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We're very pleased that you are serving as our host tonight, and we have this opportunity to honor some outstanding individuals who have given immeasurably to our community in the areas of human and civil rights. I don't think people really know and want them to know that in order to be a distinguished warrior, you have to divulge your age. You have to be at least 65 years of age or older, and given immeasurably in your community in the areas of human and civil rights. And oftentimes these are people we may already know, but other times they're unsung heroes and sheroes. And then when we look at these distinguished honorees, we find out that there's a lot more in that background that we did not know about. So it is our privilege and our honor to do that this evening. And we're very, very, very pleased that the WXYZ Channel 7 is helping us celebrate tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first honoree, someone I know very well, my mother, Diana Lewis, was a fixture on WXYZ for more than 4 decades. She made her mark not only in broadcast, but in our Detroit community, our country, and in our family as well. Please take a look.
Good evening. I'm Diana Lewis.
Before the name Diana Lewis and Detroit were synonymous, the legendary broadcaster was a girl growing up in a small town outside of Philadelphia, with a leading light, her mother.
My mother was always very active in the community, always giving. She was out there fighting for women's rights, fighting for equality.
A passion to give back ingrained in Diana's DNA, and her immeasurable talent, a supreme ability to communicate, shine through at a young age.
I was reciting The Creation by James Weldon Johnson. And I recited that one Sunday in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where then a very young Martin Luther King attended the service that day. And he sat me on his knee afterwards and he said to my mother, she's destined to be a communicator.
And journalism was the industry where Diana saw she could do the most good.
I just thought that this was my way of maybe sharing with the world other people's stories, so that other people could see how other people live and what they think and they feel.
Her big break came in the 60s. Diana was working for WPVI TV on Black Book, an African-American community issues show. She was called in by a producer to fill in for the late, great Maya Angelou, who had suddenly become ill.
He turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Kid, you're on." And I think that's really when the bug bit me.
The rest, as they say, may be history, but oh, what a history it is. She worked as a weekend news anchor and consumer investigative reporter at KABC TV in Los Angeles, before finding her way to what would be her home at WXYZ TV in Detroit. Through it all, paving the way forward in a then very male-dominated field.
And I was encouraged by so many women in the industry who would write me and say, you know, Diana, keep pushing for women's rights. So that was a heck of a journey.
Her name is Diana Lewis. Well, she is an old friend of mine.
By her side, in that push to get more minorities into good roles, was one of her dear mentors, Regis Philbin. They formed what they called The Club with broadcaster Stu Nahan.
Through this club, we were able to meet a couple times a week and discuss what was going on in the industry, discuss things that were opening up and how minorities were making a move and coming in and getting certain positions that should be open to them. So I was also a part of that fight along with Regis to make sure that people were placed properly, that opportunities were opened for people of all races.
She fought for women and minorities and also gave a voice to children in need of mentorship through her Tuesday's Child Stories.
What can we tell a big brother about you?
One of her defining moments, becoming the first newscaster to address the Michigan State Senate, she spoke on her work with Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program.
That was one of the most memorable stories in my professional career. I felt so good about that. I just knew I was making a difference. And today that difference was having a program for transplanting organs. And of course, my brother recently passed February 6th, and he too was on dialysis and needed an organ. So I continue to have that as my passion. I will always work and try to make that better for so many lives and so many families.
Throughout her 50 years of broadcasting, the awards, milestones, and memories are endless. But it's the love she has for her 2 daughters, myself and Donna, and her family that rises above. And on one Mother's Day on the anchor desk, history in the business and family history she and I will never forget.
I can't even explain how my chest exploded, how I just felt so good. I wanted to just cry with joy, tears of joy.
It's also that love, that embrace of people who trusted her with their stories. The city of Detroit that she said stays with her.
I always paid it forward because I just care, dadgummit. I'm just a woman who cares. And I'm happy that Detroit cared for me back.
Named a distinguished warrior by the Urban League, it's a new honor she now holds dear.
It made me feel so good to get this illustrious award, Distinguished Warriors Award. I'm so honored and humbled. I do really appreciate it. It's a wonderful honor. I thank Detroit for everything that I received because Detroit was so good to me.
And Charles, not a dry eye my way. What a beautiful honor. We thank you so much.
Well, I tell you, Philadelphia's and California's loss was Detroit and Michigan's gain. We're very, 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 very pleased to have this opportunity to honor Diana Lewis, and we're glad we're doing it at the time that Channel 7 is also assisting us in producing this program. So it's a great honor, and when she gets her Emmy from us, she can display it very prominently. So thank you and congratulations to Diana Lewis.
We receive it from the heart, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now to our second honoree. Jane Garcia has lifted up Detroit for more than 50 years. She's dedicated to advancing Hispanic issues in all social and political arenas. Take a look at how native Detroiter Jane Garcia made a difference time and time again.
You don't have to be around Jane Garcia long to feel her love for people, business, and Michigan. Like the time in 2017 when she saluted her longtime friend, Dr. William Bill Picard in Southwest Detroit.
I can remember not so long ago when they closed the plants and people didn't have jobs. But Bill never lost sight of that. He came back to give people jobs. I mean, I don't know if that means anything, but to us, it meant everything. It meant that you could buy a car, you could buy a house, and you could take care of your family. And that's what you did, Bill. That's what you did.
Social worker, government employee, community volunteer, and political leader. Who would have expected so much from the baby girl who was born in 1948 and raised in Southwest Detroit? Garcia was educated at Detroit's Most Holy Trinity Parish and Western High School, then applied to college.
I was one of the first Hispanics accepted into Wayne County Community College when it was up in Woodward.
But it was at Western High where she first met Henry, the man she would marry in 1963 and start their family.
I have 5 children. I have 10 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren.
She was inspired by her family's social worker and role model. But even before she became a licensed social worker, the bilingual teenager got involved with the Spanish organization La Sed.
When I was very young, I would always go and speak for some of the parents because they couldn't speak for themselves.
Garcia would eventually use her advocacy skills in jobs with the Detroit Public Schools and the federal government. And as a U.S. Census leader, she built a coalition with Detroit's first African-American mayor.
Coleman Young, who I adored, was the mayor. And I was able, actually, because I was involved, I was able to get the directors in to see the mayor because he could be very feisty, as you remember.
Later, as a civic volunteer, Jane Garcia would break an important glass ceiling at DTE Energy as the first non-chief executive officer to become secretary of their corporate board.
I remember when I got interviewed, they said, how do you feel about being the first Hispanic to hold this position? I said, how about being the first woman to hold that position?
Garcia would fight for jobs and training of mostly African-American female workers transitioning from the old Ma Bell phone system to Ameritech. She purchased stock so she could get a voice at various company stockholder meetings where she lobbied for equality and inclusion on all levels for minorities. And she founded an organization called Corporate Responsibility Through Advocacy.
I've never been thrown out of a meeting, so obviously that's always important.
Over the years, Garcia has served on many boards and commissions, including her long service as chair of Latin Americans for Social and Economic Development. In 2008, she was honored as a Michiganian of the Year by the Detroit News. And in the world of politics, she broke ground as the first Hispanic vice chair of the Michigan Republican Party. Although unhappy with the current direction of her beloved GOP, Garcia says she will continue to fight from within.
I'm not willing to give up my party because I don't agree with them. I'm just thinking that I have to be in there and tell them, no, you're doing wrong. This is not what you do.
And where does Garcia stand on today's social protests?
Black lives matter, but I believe all lives matter. And I think the advocacy that the people are asked
is the freedom that we still have here in this country, that they can protest. It's not against the law. It is a free country.
So after many years of fighting for other people, what are Jane Garcia's thoughts about being named one of this year's Detroit Urban League Distinguished Warriors?
I think it's an honor. I think it's a great honor, and I accept it so honorably on behalf of my community.
I have had the great honor and pleasure of being with Ms. Garcia and many community service projects, and I think we hugged the first time we met more than a decade ago before we even said hello. This is truly an honor.
Well, I tell you, Jane Garcia, if you've ever been in a room with Jane Garcia, the room lights up. She brings a lot of energy to the room, and she is not afraid, or as they say on the Kids Watch, say she ain't scared. She is an advocate. She is tremendously passionate about what she's working for. And so we're very pleased that we can honor that Jane Garcia with one of our Distinguished Warrior Awards. She's deserving, and she should get several more of these because she is an advocate for the community, and we are very, very, very fortunate to have her as part of our community. So congratulations to Jane Garcia.
Yes, thank you for never being scared.
Yes.
Now to our next honoree. At the helm of the United Way for many years and a trailblazer throughout her career, Dr. Geneva Williams is dedicated to being a force for positive change.
So that being first is the first step to opening up the door for others.
Entrepreneur, author, podcaster, nonprofit leader, change agent. There are many words to describe Dr. Geneva Williams and her impactful work, but everything she's done for the benefit of those who come after her.
What I was supposed to do isn't about me. What I'm supposed to do is to be a force that creates change, positive change, for others, particularly for children, for the people that I work with.
Dr. Geneva said her desire to help people to create community was fostered as a young child growing up on the Jersey Shore, surrounded by people who did just that, care.
Watching my parents fight for social justice ingrained in me that I had to be about the business of creating positive community change wherever I went.
Dr. Geneva's path leading her to her parents' alma mater, Morgan State University, and eventually to Bryn Mawr College in Pennsylvania, after her Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority sister told her the school was offering scholarships to Black students.
There was this rumor going around that many of the Blacks were being encouraged to go into what they call direct services. But this other concentration was on community organization, public policy, leadership, social organization development. So when I heard that Blacks were being pushed the other way, I decided I'm going this way. But wouldn't you know, that's why God is so good. I fell into my purpose. That's where I was supposed to be. That's what I was supposed to do.
After meeting the love of her life, the pair moved to Detroit and presented Dr. Geneva with an opportunity to give back through United Community Services of Metropolitan Detroit, now known as United Way.
There were no dollars or support or resources being given to Black organizations and grassroots organizations in the community. The things that I did within the system was to open up those doors. I mean, I did the first study, East Side Community Study, that allowed for the first time the allocation of dollars to grassroots and Black organizations, to Hispanic organizations.
For 25 years, she continued to open those doors through that organization and then spent the next 10 years at the helm for City Connect Detroit, a nonprofit dedicated to finding and funding solutions to community issues.
Every time I do something, every time I speak or create a program or what have you, I always have my children in mind, and everybody's children, because that's really what it's all about.
Family for Dr. Geneva has always been important, So when her beloved husband and both of her parents passed within a short period of time, it hit hard. She was struggling trying to figure out what to do next when the ones she lost provided inspiration.
I looked at these obituaries and I noticed for the first time that what they had in common was the dash between the day they were born and the day they passed. And I realized that that's really where my love was. That's where the meaning was. And in looking at their dashes is what helped me realize that I had more work to do and God was not finished with me yet.
That's when she decided to launch a podcast, Ignite to Impact, using the platform to share advice and help people figure out their next moves.
If we hear these stories, if we see role models, if we hear people who are doing things, it gives us tips and advice and inspiration to do our own thing.
Honored as a distinguished warrior, Dr. Geneva said she felt like these awards are really for young people to show them the possibilities and to thank those who paved the way before her.
I'm very humbled and grateful to be recognized for what God put me here to do. I mean, it's very humbling and I appreciate it. But more important, I'm just thankful for this award because it recognizes all of the people who helped me get here. The award's not for me. I mean, it's another way to be able to say to my mom, my dad, all the caring adults I've known in my life, my mentors, thank you. Because it's because of you that I'm getting this award. So it's really for them.
Wow, captivating and courageous. We're so thankful that she gives in the way she does, which is from the heart. Honored to present this to my dear Soror.
Well, I tell you, Geneva Williams is one of those phenomenal women that we have in our community and just in our country. She came also from Philadelphia, like your mom, after starting her career in school. But when she got to Detroit, I remember meeting Geneva early on in my career at the Urban League, and she's always been a fierce and determined individual. I don't think we mentioned in the video that in 2018 she was selected in Miss Black Fit and Fine. And I don't think people know that Geneva is also in a Health Alliance Grant commercial promoting healthcare. So she is an outstanding person. She's gotten her second win as a leader in our community. And so we're very, very pleased that we can honor Geneva with her very own Distinguished Warrior Award. She's deserving and she is great. She's got more work to do too, though.
A force indeed. Thank you. Our next honoree was a public servant many years. Sander Levin represented as Southeastern Michigan's 9th District for 36 years in Congress. Here's a look at his dedication to improving the lives of working men and women.
Growing up in Detroit's Boston Edison neighborhood, Sander Levin credits his parents for nurturing their children's interest in politics and compassion for people of all races.
We had dinner together 5 nights a week, and we listened to 2 political programs at 6 o'clock at dinner. So we were raised in a family that says we care about each other and we care about everybody else.
As a University of Chicago undergraduate student in the mid-1950s, young Levin attended a liberal meeting of Americans for Democratic Action one summer in his hometown.
We brought a bunch of students to Detroit, and it was about a dozen students, black and white students.
The gathering led to an encounter of racial discrimination that Levin has never forgotten.
And there wasn't a single place that would house white and black students. Not a single place.
Levin sought the help of then Detroit Urban League leader Dr. Francis Cornegay, who directed him to a member who had a big house on Arden Park. Against the zoning laws, she rented the group a space.
I remember vividly as if it were yesterday, they put up a curtain in the kitchen to separate the boys and the girls.
Eventually, armed with a master's degree from Columbia University and his JD from Harvard, Levin moved back to Detroit to practice law and pursue politics. He became chairman of the Oakland County Democratic Party and served 2 terms in the Michigan Senate as majority and minority leader. And in 1970 and 1974, he ran for governor against Republican Bill Milliken, but lost both of those close elections.
We had very, very intense battles, but when I lost the second time, I went over and congratulated him. And that kind of started a friendship.
They became good personal friends and worked together on bipartisan issues. Elected to Congress in 1983, Levin would spend 36 years representing his Michigan district. Together with his younger brother Carl in the U.S. Senate, the Levin brothers' tenure in Congress came to 72 combined years, the longest of any sibling pair in congressional history. In that time, he would champion the auto industry rescue.
If one of the big 3 goes down, the supplier network will be devastated. And all those who sell automobiles, and all those who are involved indirectly in the economy.
Trade deals with foreign nations, critical economic issues, fight the privatization of Social Security, and for a brief time chair the powerful House Ways and Means Committee during the passage of the controversial Affordable Care Act.
You know, I met a woman, she said I had cancer, and she looked me straight in the eye and said, I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been the passage of that health legislation.
And Levin cherishes the relationship he had with the late civil rights icon, Congressman John Lewis of Atlanta.
We sat next to each other for a number of years.
But their first meeting was down south in 1971.
And we set up what's called the Michigan or the Mississippi-Michigan Alliance to register voters.
Today, retired Congressman Sander Levin is succeeded in Congress by his son, Andy, has more leisure time with his wife and family, and enjoys teaching as a distinguished professor at the University of Michigan's Gerald Ford School of Public Policy. But what does he think about being named a distinguished warrior?
I feel so honored that I'm having this award, because I think for those way back, they would be proud of where we are, but we have quite a long ways to go. And I'm indebted to the Urban League for the battles over the years, and I think our motto is we'll keep going until we're there.
What a true champion for the people, and not just the people of his district. He made moves.
Yes. Well, you know, the Levin name is synonymous with service. He and his brother, last year we honored Carl Levin, Senator Levin, but we couldn't go far without thinking about the work and the contributions that Sandy has made to this community, the Jewish community, but the community as a whole. He was Emeritus Jewish representative, and he was our greatest congressional advocate. I think we long for those days where we would have the kind of individuals like Sander Levin that could work with each other, work across the aisle. That's what indicative of his ability to work with, after running against Milliken, then work with Governor Milliken. So we appreciate the work of Sander Levin, his connection to the Urban League that goes way, way back. And so it is our honor to also give him his very own statue, Distinguished Warrior honoree. So congratulations to Senator Levin, the Congressman Levin, I'm sorry, yes.
Our next honoree was a man of true compassion. Dr. O'Neill Swanson founded Swanson Funeral Homes, helping countless Metro Detroit families in their time of grief. He was also a prominent businessman and community leader. He passed away last year. Tonight, his daughters, Kimberly and Linda, share with us how deeply their father cared for the people of Detroit.
O'Neal D. Swanson's dream to become an American success story was shaped by his family after they moved from Birmingham, Alabama to Dayton, Ohio. He was surrounded by positive role models. His mother, a teacher for almost 45 years, his father and grandmother.
He often told us the story of how his grandmother, when he was very young, would tell him that he was going to have greatness, that he would succeed beyond his wildest imagination.
After graduating from high school as a National Honor student, Swanson entered historically black college, Central State University, graduating in 1953. Then came the U.S. military, which gave Swanson time to think about his desire to become a medical doctor.
He was stationed in Alaska, and it was in those moments that he changed his career path. And he simply said that it was really divine providence.
Armed with his new license from the Cincinnati College of Embalming, the honorably discharged first lieutenant had to make an important decision. Take a good-paying job at a white-owned funeral home in Grand Rapids, or strike out on his own. A close family friend helped Swanson envision his future.
He said, "Why would you want to be a big fish in a small pond when you could come to Detroit and be a small fish in a big pond and have room to grow?" Because of Mr. Sam Gibbons, our father came to Detroit and had some very lean years.
He was hungry and had a hungry family, huh?
Right. Had some lean years,
But that wouldn't last long. Through dedicated personal service, Swanson began building Detroit's funeral home empire, from average citizens to VIPs. Mayor Coleman Young, Judge Damon Keith, Congressman John Conyers Jr., civil rights pioneer Rosa Parks, and entertainers David Ruffin and Aretha Franklin.
His focus was never on who can I serve, who's the greatest that I can serve. It wasn't about that. It was about serving the best, giving the best of your time and your talent and your ability. And that is why persons from all ages and from one end of the spectrum to the other have sought Dad's company, not just professionally, but as a friend.
Swanson's influence far exceeded his funeral business. He was an investor in Detroit's first Independence Bank, Real Times Media, and the historic St. Regis Hotel on West Grand Boulevard. He sat on numerous boards and committees, and he also established a foundation to provide scholarships and charitable donations.
To whom much is given, much is required and expected. Community for him meant everything.
Swanson was a master of his own brand, from fashionable hats and tailor-made suits with his trademark epaulets to his love for classic cars. He connected with the Motor City.
Dad would tell us, you get one time to make a first impression. Do a good job. Serve well, that's number one, but also look the part. Every year, he did have a classic car show. He had personal cars, but then it trickled down to certainly our fleet, which we've been fortunate to carry the likes of Aretha Franklin and others in those classic cars.
Daughters Linda and Kimberly agree on what was their father's driving force.
No one had more faith than our father.
That same faith gave him the courage and vision to fight for other people of color. And after a lifetime of being a catalyst, what would be O'Neal D. Swanson's thoughts about receiving the Detroit Urban League's most coveted award?
Receiving an award like this from the Urban League would be a huge honor for him. Freedom and justice should be a living reality through our deeds. And so his deeds are being honored in this way. And we are immensely grateful.
For more than 60 years, Dr. O'Neal D. Swanson Sr. was on the world stage serving his way.
And he made his great mark with such grace and kindness always. It was an honor to know him.
We really want to say thank you to Linda Kim O'Neal II for allowing us to honor O'Neal. I've had many conversations with Neal over the years, and I wanted to honor him before, and he kept saying, look, my work is not done. I'm still doing my work. O'Neal Swanson would have succeeded at anything he chose to do. He was brilliant, he was outstanding, he was honorable. Unfortunately, at the height of the coronavirus pandemic and our sheltered in place or maintaining social distance, he passed away. And we have not had a chance to really mourn and honor O'Neal. But I'm glad that we have this chance this evening to recognize O'Neal D. Swanson as a distinguished warrior, the one award that he should have gotten while he was living. But we're glad that we could posthumously honor him and say, thank you, O'Neal, for your work, filling in that dash that Geneva talked about and doing the work until the end. We really do appreciate O'Neal Swanson.
He was a true blessing, as are you and Charles Anderson. And I thank you so much for asking me to MC tonight's fabulous event. It was an honor to host. Well, it was our honor to have WXYZ Channel 7 as our partner, media partner this year, and it's certainly appreciative of the work that you and Chuck Stokes have done to prepare these Distinguished Warrior videos. And so we're very pleased and we're very proud to say to the community that the Urban League has been around for 105 years, and we have been laboring in the vineyard. The many works that are done need to be done, and the laborers sometimes are few. But we continue to invite people to join us. We said thank you to those sponsors who supported us tonight. And we said thank you to all of those who joined us this evening to celebrate 5 outstanding Detroiters, Southeastern Michigan individuals who have excelled in the areas of human and civil rights. So thank you very much. Your work and the work of the Urban League is vital to this community. Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you out there want to help advance the great causes of Detroit's Urban League, please consider making a donation. Head to the website that you see on your screen. We want to thank all our sponsors who supported tonight's event. Thank you to all who joined us and took a moment with us. A very special thank you to the event sponsor, TCF Bank, and we hope you have a safe and blessed night. Good night.
Can you feel that? Something's changing. A shift from a focus on me to something bigger. Because while it's perfectly fair to ask, what's in it for me? Finding the answer comes from asking, what's in it for we? At TCF Bank, our purpose lies in answering that question, in giving every me the financial strength to make us all a stronger we.